Hello guys, welcome back to another interesting video of quant reasoning. So today we will go through the power, roots and traits concept. So let's start our today's video. So first of all understand what is the power. A raised to power n means here a is the base and n is the exponent. So we can write the a raised to power n as a into how much is the nth value, where n is a positive integer. So multiply a by itself n times. Okay. For example, if a raised to power 0 means there is no multiplication of a. So a raised to power 0 is 1. Any number raised to power 0 is always 1. And another example is minus 3 raised to power 3. So it is minus 3 into minus 3 into minus 3, which is minus 27. Okay. So there is a rule, the power with a negative exponent, reciprocal raised to the opposite power. So we can write a raised to power minus n as 1 by a raised to power n. So for example, 2 raised to power minus 3 can be written as 1 by 2 raised to power 3. So it is 1 by 8. Okay. It is very simple. If a raised to power minus n is equal to 1 by a raised to power n. Next is roots as powers. So when there is an nth root of a positive number a, it is the positive number b, which if raised to power nth will give a dash. So nth root of a gives b because b raised to power n is a. For example, fourth root of 81 is equal to 3 because 3 raised to power 4 is 81. And it is a vice versa. So 81 raised fourth power is equal to 3 because 3 into 3 into 3 gives us 81. So when root isn't specified, it is a second order square root. When on this signs mean second, it is a square root. It is if retention is 3, then it is cube. If retention is 4, then it is fourth root. So nth root of a is a raised to power 1 by n, where 0 is smaller than a, or a is more than 0. So nth root of a is a raised to power 1 by n. Simple. Coming to next topic, the power rule matrix. So there are few rules. Let's go one by one. So first one is the multiply powers with the same base. We have to add the exponents. For example, a raised to power n into a raised to power n is equal to a raised to power n plus n. We have to add the powers of the same base. For example, 2 raised to power 2 multiply 2 raised to power 3. So it gives 2 raised to power 5. Second rule is divide powers with the same base. So we have to subtract the exponents. When a raised to power m divided by a raised to power n, it is a raised to power m minus n. For example, 5 4 by 5 raised to power 2. So it gives 5 raised to power 2. It is simple. Third rule is raise a power to a power. So we have to multiply the exponents. So a raised to power m raised to power n. So we have to multiply a raised to power m into n. So for example, 3 square to the fourth. So it gives 3 raised to power 8. 4 to the 8. Fourth rule is distribute the exponent to both terms. For example, a multiply b raised to power m, we can write as a raised to power m multiply b raised to power m, or a by b raised to power m, a by m, a raised to power m divided by b raised to power m. It is both way applicable in multiplication and division. Here the example is 2 into x raised to power 3 gives us 8x cube, because 2 raised to power 3 is 8 and x cube. So it is always applicable when the base is same. When powers do not have the same base, exponents cannot be added or subtracted. Please remember, it is for the same base only. These rules are applicable. Coming to the next concept of inequalities and powers. So when, for example, when we compare bases, like assuming b greater than 0 and a greater than b, if n greater than 0, b raised to power n should be smaller than a raised to power n, because a is greater than b, so a raised to power n should be greater than b raised to power n, normal. Now if n less than 0, then if n is less than 0, then a raised to power n will be smaller than b raised to power n. Simple, because it flips because of negative fractions. Now as comparing exponents now, assuming m smaller than n, if one a is greater than 1, then a raised to power m will be smaller than a raised to power n, because bigger base it will grow faster, and n is more and base is same, so more power, more the larger number. Now if a is smaller than 1 but greater than 0, then a raised to power n will be smaller than a raised to power n. Please remember this, because fractions get smaller as the power goes up. Okay, as 1 by 2 का square is 1 by 4, but 1 by 2 का cube is 1 by 8. So here which is more? 1 by 4 is greater than 1 by 8. Simple concept. Coming to the next, contracted multiplication shortcuts. It gives a trick to minimize the time to solve the problems. For example, a plus b multiplied by c plus d. So we can write it as ac, because we have to first multiply a with c and d both times, ac plus ad plus bc plus bd. So multiply each item in the first parenthesis by each item in the second bracket. So it will save time. So we have to memorize some formulas. A plus b ka whole square gives us a square plus 2ab plus b square. A minus b whole square is equal to a square minus 2ab plus b square. And a minus b into a plus b gives us a square minus b square. So it is very important to understand and remember these formulas for solving the problems. So we have talked about power, cubes, exponents, and some basic formulas. Coming to the next topic, that is the distance and rate questions. So speed, which we also called as rate, it is the distance an object covers in a unit of time. In a given period of time, how much an object covers the specific distance. So we have three things: speed, distance, and time. Okay. So distance is speed divided by time. Speed is distance into time, and time is s by v, speed by distance. So here v is distance. Don't confuse it with velocity. Or you can write it as d. Okay. Next is the unit conversions. So unit of measurement of two variables determines the third variable, and all the variables in a given question, or all the units of all variables in a given question, should be same. So we have to convert some variables or some units into the same unit to get the correct answer. So you have to remember some basic conversions. 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters, and 1 hour is equal to 3600 seconds. That is 60 minutes, and each minute has 60 seconds. So 60 into 60, 3600. Now moving between kilometer per hour and meter per second. So we have to use these magic fractions. So 1 kilometer hour gives us 5 by 18 meter per second, because 1000 divided by 3600. And if you have to convert meter per second into kilometer per hour, so 1 meter per second gives 3.6 kilometer per hour. So please remember these two conversions. It will be very helpful in solving the speed questions. Coming to the same similar patterns of question of work problems. So output is just the amount of work per unit of time. Think it like it is the above case: speed, distance, and time. Think like the same way, and it is the speed of working. Okay, output is the speed of working. So the work triangle is W, P, and T. So P is output is work by divided by time, and second is time is work by output, and work is equal to output into time. Okay, so here P replaces the V and W replaces the S. Work is speed and output is distance. So you have to just put the variables in the same formulas. It will give the work formulas. Next is the ultimate rate matrix. Universal rule is that rate is equal to amount by time. Rate is equal to amount by time. So in distance problem, rate variable speed V, amount variable distance S, and time variable is T. So core equation will be speed is equal to distance divided by time. And work problems is rate variable output P, amount variable amount of work W, and time variable time T. So equation will be output is equal to work by time. So you have to remember two formulas: speed is equal to distance by time. I think I have tell you the wrong in the upper part. Speed is equal to distance by time. Speed is equal to V is the speed. Sorry, V is not the distance. Speed is equal to S is the distance, and T is the time. Speed is equal to distance by time, and distance is equal to speed into time. So if you know how to calculate how far a car drives, you already know how to calculate how fast a builder builds a home. It is the same concept of distance and work. Just you have to remember the formulas, that speed is equal to distance by time, and output, which is the P, is work upon time. Simple. Now, for example, question: a train traveled 240 kilometers at a speed of 80 kilometers per hour. How long did the journey take? So we have to first identify the variables. So we have given speed, which is 80 km per hour, and distance is 240 kilometers. So we need to find time. So first we have to check the unit. If all the units are in the same, speed is in kilometer per hour, distance is in kilometer, and units match. So time will be in hours, not in second. So just we have to plug into the formula using time is equal to distance upon my speed. So we will t is equal to distance is 240 and speed is 80. So it will give us 3 hours. So the journey will take 3 hours. Okay, simple question. Next, a builder can finish building one wall in 3 hours. How many hours would be needed for two builders working at the same rate to finish the building 5 walls? Now we have to first find the individual rate. So amount of work W is one wall, and time taken to build one wall is 3 hours. So his output will be output formula was W by T, work upon time. Output will be 1/3 of a wall in an hour, 1/3. Second is question involves two builders. So output of two together will be 2 into 1/3. So two builder will do the output 2/3 walls per hour. So in 1 hour they will build 2/3 walls. So now we have to set new target. The new amount of work required. We have to build 5 walls. 5 walls we have to build. So using time, we have to calculate the time. Time is work upon my output. Okay. So work is 5 walls. Let me introduce. So work is 5 volts. So time is equal to W by P. So time is work 5 and output is 2/3. We have calculated 2/3 volts per hour of two builders. So 2/3, it will be 5 into 3/2, which is 15/2. So it gives 7 1.5. So they will need 7 1.5 hours to build the 5 volts. Okay. So it is basically just we have to read the questions very carefully and put in the formula. The solution will automatically come. And please practice these questions. We will also practice in upcoming videos. So up till then, please revise this video and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. I will keep making these videos in the future. And please hit the like button. It keeps me motivated to make such more videos. And up till then, take care. Bye bye.